the Hawaii State Supreme Court decision, Office of Foreign Affairs v. Housing, HCDCH. The testimony that we have that was on time are all in support. There's 9 people. Now, if you submitted late testimony, we'll go through that. In the interest of time, I think everyone knows that this is not a new issue. This is a resolution that is intended to move quickly because it is becoming increasingly clear that the bills may be problematic in arriving at the Supreme Court, at the United States Supreme Court in time for the oral arguments. In the interest of time, because we would like to get this out this afternoon, I would ask you if you would consider either summarizing or standing on your testimony so we can deck the SCR and the SR this evening. Dr. Fisher in support. Richard Kinney in support.
Yeah, I'd stand on.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Karen Diamond in support. Noah Napoleon. David Insiao. OHA. KS. Kelly Ann Beppu. Brandy Al-Qaeda. All in support. Now we'll go to the late testimony. Pono Kealoha.
Support.
Thank you. Office of the Attorney General.
Senator, may I?
Sure, sure.
This lawsuit was filed in 1994, and although the lawsuit sought to stop all ceded land transfers in addition to 2 particular transfers, the state's defense sought to preserve intact the state's right to manage the ceded land for the benefit of all of its citizens. The lawsuit claimed that as a result of the apology resolution, the state lacked the title to the state's public lands, and that therefore the state could not transfer any of those lands, no matter how important the public purposes of the transfers. And in summary, basically the transfers that were contemplated in this case were specifically within the express terms of both the Admissions Act and the Hawaii Constitution. That is for the purpose of home ownership, as laid out in our testimony. In summary, and we do have our written testimony, which goes into further detail. But at bottom, the ceded lands at issue are explicitly entrusted to the state for the benefit of all the citizens of the state. We believe the Hawaii Supreme Court's decision, unfortunately, was wrong for reasons fully spelled out in our filings in state courts and with the United States Supreme Court. And this case was defended over the course of 15 years, as you all know, by the Cayetano administration as well as the current administration. Here, the plaintiffs chose to initiate and pursue this lawsuit. This administration very much regrets that choice, but like the Cayetano administration, the governor and her administration believe that the suit must be defended. The sovereign dignity of the state and the interest of all its citizens require nothing less. It is our hope that the United States Supreme Court will confirm that the apology resolution did not diminish the state's full rights and ownership in the ceded lands. We believe that the appeal is in the best interest of all Hawaii citizens, and we respectfully, therefore, oppose both of the resolutions. Thank you, Senator, for allowing me to testify.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Any questions for the Attorney General? Lisa, the state has transferred lands in the past in statehood. Would you agree with that?
I cannot cite to you a specific instance, but I do believe that to be true.
Okay, so you see these resos as somehow preventing what the state already has the ability to do, which is transfer lands?
I think
That's the
these
basis for your
resos,
opposition?
the resolutions specifically ask that the appeal be withdrawn. I think the bottom line point of our testimony in opposition is that the appeal, we believe, is necessary to, in fact, preserve the state's right to manage the ceded lands on behalf of all citizens. And I think that's the important part, is on behalf of all the citizens.
Yep, we got that.
Yeah.
Unless I misunderstood you, what I heard you say is that there was a concern that the state's ability to transfer lands was the basis for the appeal, one of the basis for the appeal, and suggests to me anyway that the state believes that it cannot transfer land pending the appeal. Is that
That is
accurate?
absolutely correct.
Okay.
Yes, with
But-
the Supreme Court's decision, the Hawaii Supreme Court's decision, there's currently an injunction against the transfer of ceded lands.
So you believe that although the state has transferred land since statehood, up until the time of the Hawaii Supreme Court, that it's the Attorney General's position that as a result of the Hawaii State Supreme Court's ruling, the state can no longer transfer land?
While that decision is pending, while the injunction is pending based on the Hawaii Supreme Court's decision issued in January of 2008, there is a prohibition, an injunction by that court prohibiting the state from transferring or selling ceded lands. I believe there is a carve-out of remnants based on the court I think in the circuit court.
Okay.
Other than remnants, I
Okay.
think
Okay, so you qualify the transfer by remnants or other.
just remnants,
Okay.
as far as I know.
Okay, so a more complete statement then is that you agree the state can transfer remnant pieces regardless of the Hawaii State Supreme Court ruling in 08.
Let me be clear, there is a specific order that was entered by the circuit court, I believe, in this case, in the Oahu decision.
Judge McKenna's court.
That's correct,
Okay.
which addresses the carve-out of what is not prohibited from being transferred.
Correct.
I summarized that by calling it remnant. I don't know if there's more particular
Okay.
characterization of it, but primarily I believe it's remnant pieces.
And are you aware of how many acres or what amount of lands may have been transferred in 08?
No, I don't know if, in fact, there were land transfers. I'm not able to give you that information. I don't know where anyone has been.
Can you provide us information of any year that you may be aware of?
As I sit here today, no, I'm not able to give you that information.
But are you able to tell us that there's no question in your mind that the state has, since statehood, transferred or extinguished remnant pieces?
But it's my belief, I can't, like I said, I cannot cite to you a specific cases, but it's certainly my belief that we have.
Okay, regardless of whatever the court's view may have been at
No,
the, subject to the Supreme Court decision.
let's be sure I'm clear,
Okay.
that I understand your question, Senator. So I guess I would state my answer this way. Up until the time prior to the Hawaii Supreme Court's decision in January of 2008, I do believe in the history of the state of Hawaii, there have been instances prior to that time that ceded lands may have been transferred. Since the January 2008 decision, I am not aware that there have been transfers of ceded lands.
And also, you are aware that regardless of the decision, there is a carve-out of remnant transfers, as you understand.
As set forth in the order before Judge McKenna.
Yes.
In her part.
Okay, thank you.